Hi, Big Tractor Power fans. Welcome to part 2 of setting up a brand new John Deere 1775 NT 24-row, 60-foot wide corn planter. In part 1, my friend Matt walked us through his process in setting up this new planter, attaching a series of Martin no-till row cleaners to the planter and doing some basic setup to the machine. In part 2, Matt is going to walk us through setting up the liquid fertilizer system. This is the fertilizer that will run from 2 big tanks on the front of the tractor into each of the rows as a starter fertilizer to get the corn crop off to a healthy start. Several fans asked after part 1 in the comments section why Matt was the one doing the setup. Why does the corn planter not come standard from the factory with all these components? Or why did the dealership not add the components to the machine? The number one factor is the cost. It's a lot less expensive for the farm to use Matt to attach all the components to the planter. This is pretty much a customized setup to the style of corn planting this farm likes. So they have a lot of different aftermarket parts that they use, and they're not exactly factory pieces. So it's easier for Matt to install them to ask the dealership to do that. Also, Matt is done farming for the season, so he needs something to do over the winter months, and tackling these corn planters is definitely a great way to do that. He's setting up 3 new machines in the shop this winter, and the farm also has 2 2019 models that they used in the previous season, so they'll be running a total of 5 planters in the spring of 2020. Matt would also share with you that while he's setting up these planters in the shop, other people on the farm are hauling corn and soybeans to the elevator. They're sweeping out bins and working out in the fields on a tiling project, which is pretty muddy. So he's pretty happy working in the shop over the winter months on these corn planters and other updates to machinery. So let's head to the shop and see what Matt's up to in part 2, setting up the fertilizer system on this new 24-row corn planter.
We got these planters with basically bare, no fertilizer or anything like that, so I've had to do all the plumbing myself. You can see here, this is around the front of it. There's a sight glasses manifold system, and I had to run all the hose and stuff to that, all down to each row. It's got have like a it's actually a little spray tip and the 1/4-inch hose that runs down to the seed farmer to drop the fertilizer. But also have to well, what we did when we traded our Kinseys, we took the fertilizer pumps off so we could put them on these planters, but in order to do that I got to do a little fabrication. So I made these plates which bolt right above the, or right next to the cylinder, and it's basically a copy off of what Kinsey did on their planters, but I turned this plate right here, which bolts to the Kinsey planter, I took it off and made our own. So I have some more here for the other 2 planters. So I made these plates and bolted them on, and then welded these 2 little rods in there. That's where a spring goes to this, to that, to hold pressure from the little wheel down to the big wheel. Of course, I'm gonna paint this green so you can't tell that it was a Kinsey. Don't tell anybody. But we have a piston pump that mounts to the top of it, and of course chain drive. So yeah, just kind of mocking one up here to make sure I got everything where I want it, and I'm gonna take it back off and paint it up, and then I gotta make 2 more just like it. Alrighty, here's the finished product. 3 hoses that connect to the pump. These 2 are outgoing, and I got one that goes into the bottom. That's the suction line. And the big black one goes out, tees off in the center, and goes out to my manifolds on either side. I got 12 rows there, 12 over here. And the smaller hose runs up to the front of the tractor, where we mount a gauge up there where we can you know, keep track of the pressure. That's what these 2 hoses are for. And they're going to hook to the top of the pump right here. Just trying to find a good place to put these hoses where they won't get messed up. Right here is going to work pretty good. Planter 1, done.
Now that the corn planter is all set up and out the door, it's ready to go for corn planting 2020. The farm will probably start planting corn towards the middle or end of March next spring, and I'm looking forward to climbing up in the cab of the John Deere 9420R four-wheel drive tractor and riding along with Matt to talk about the operation of this big corn planter. A common question that came up after part 1 in this video series was, why does the farm not utilize John Deere DB60 planters? This is also a 60-foot wide corn planter. It can plant 24 rows of 30-inch space corn, but it also has the advantage that it can plant 47 rows of 15-inch space soybeans. The DB60 does offer a lot of advantages, especially to western Kentucky farms that are planting corn in the spring and then a second crop of soybeans directly behind the winter wheat harvest in June. Here we can see another area farm that does operate a DB60. They pull it with a John Deere 8400R tractor to plant their corn from mid-March into early April. And after that 30-inch space corn is planted, they do turn around in the month of June and utilize that planter to plant the second crop of soybeans right behind the combines that are harvesting the wheat. The 8400R tractor pulling the 47-row 15-inch DB60 planter can run at about 5 miles per hour when it's putting in the second crop of soybeans. The 100-bushel commodity tanks on the DB60 will cover 80 acres of ground between refills when it's putting in that second crop of soybeans, and when it's planting corn On 24 rows spaced at 30 inches, the planter will cover around 250 acres between refills. The John Deere 2-in-1 DB60 planter is an extremely popular option for many farms here in western Kentucky, which is where the farm is located that Matt works on. There are a couple of reasons that the farm does not use John Deere DB60s and chooses the 1775 NT planter. The John Deere DB60 definitely offers a lot of advantages for farmers in western Kentucky planting corn and second crop soybeans. The farm that Matt works at chose to utilize 60-foot wide Horsch Panther 60 air drills. The main reason the farm utilizes these is that they also use them to plant their winter wheat following the corn harvest in the fall. These big drills can carry 500 bushels of seed, and when they're planting soybeans, depending on the variety and size of the bean, the air drill can plant 400 to 500 acres of that second crop soybean between refills. The farm has also found that the Horsch Panther drills give them a very good emergence in double crop soybeans. This hoe-style drill uses a shank to inject the soybeans in the ground, and that shank will tear through the ground, pulling up and clearing a nice seed bed, putting all the straw and the stubble off to the sides. A planter typically will hairpin some of that straw down in the seed bed and limit the growth of the newly planted soybeans. These big air drills also can travel at 8 to 9 miles per hour, which is significantly faster than the DB60's planter speed at 5 miles per hour. In the fall during winter wheat seeding, these big drills can travel at 10 to 11 miles per hour. This really gives the farm a good advantage in covering a lot of acres. They're seeding 11,000 acres of winter wheat, followed by 11,000 acres of double crop soybeans, so the big air drills make a lot of sense for the operation. The DB60 planter, while it offers great advantage for some operations, comes with a list price, according to JohnDeere.com, of $357,305. The John Deere 1775 NT corn planter, set up as a 24-row model, comes with a list price of $213,642,000. So that is why the farm uses the 1775, because it is the best setup for them in corn, and they also have savings in using this planter over a DB60, and then they have the speed and the ability to cover a lot of acres with the big Horsch Panther drills. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the setup process of the John Deere 1775 NT corn planter with Matt and the reasons that the farm utilizes this style of planter in their operation. If you would like to see part 1, watch this video all the way through to the end, and in the end screen area, I will have a direct link to part 1 of the 24-row corn planter setup. If you would like to see more videos like this one, consider subscribing to Big Tractor Power YouTube, where there's over 1,000 videos of farm machines in action. Make sure to click on the notifications bell as well, so you'll know when the next Big Tractor Power video is released. New videos are coming out almost every day from the channel. If you have any questions or thoughts about this video, please leave them in the comment section below, as I try to respond to every post that is made. If you would like to get a preview of what is coming up next on Big Tractor Power YouTube, make sure to check out Big Tractor Power Instagram, where I share pictures and short video clips of what is currently being filmed in the field. As always, thank you for watching.